Good evening, everyone. Here we are, last show this evening, and it's a special night. Every night's special. I'm with Pugsley, Ina, and I'm co-hosting with my cousin in Cincinnati, and we're helping out with fundraising for a non-profit, non-governmental organization in Cincinnati. It's called 55 North, and they provide programming. They help with programming, helping people who are in need in Cincinnati over 55. They deliver meals to older adults, and they help them take them to their medical appointments. And they have a full-time social worker staff to help with a myriad of issues, from Medicare questions to helping people with setting up online and stuff. So I hope y'all enjoy tonight and make sure we have the right levels here. Don't want it too loud. So I've got Pugsley on the piano. Say hi, Pug. We got Ina on the drums. Say hi, Ina. So, thank you. Hope you enjoy the show.
Moment. Ask my ladies first, Entschuldigung, ja. Am Schlagzeug, das Roschema, Japan, ist Ina Budioka, say hi, Ina. From way down under, Perth, Australia. Oh, excuse me. Hi. Mr. Pugsley on the piano with us. Say hi, Pug. Hey! And I'm Catherine, and how do you do? I got a beat on baby, wanna hug you all the time. I got a mean old man who wanna hug you all the time. You think that living with him will surely be a crime. It's up every moment living on me, the fame. so hard to love that man. I really did. I did my best. Said I tried so hard to love the man. All I can do is do the best that I can. I had a mean old man, he wanted to argue all the time. I had a mean old man, he wanted to argue all the time. talented people in the house tonight. We got Miss Hattie St. John in the house tonight. We got Chris Rannenberg. We got Benedict Wright in the house tonight. Got Pugs. He's got something for us, Sherman. What you got, darling?
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the board and staff of 55 North, I am pleased to welcome all of you here tonight on 11/5 at 5:55 p.m. for our virtual North Star Soirée. My name is Curtis Fuller, and it is my pleasure to be a part of this amazing evening. As you know, if you've attended a virtual event before, even though we can't gather together in person, we can still celebrate, right? First, let's give a big thank you to our pregame performer, Kat. You were outstanding. And for those of you who are sponsors, or if you signed up to be hosts and hostesses, I am certain you are enjoying your customized party pack. We've got wine, charcuterie, and some truly awesome cookies. Thank you to VistaLink, Boards and Bees, One Hope Wine, and Adorable Creations by Dory for helping to elevate our at-home experience. Because our goal tonight is to complete our program celebrating 55 North in under 55 minutes, I will run through a few housekeeping items and then introduce our first speakers. You will note that you are viewing a split screen. Throughout the night, we will be streaming important information about our sponsors and our silent auction. Please be sure to register for the silent auction. We have lots of great items, so I encourage you to get your bids in. And the auction will be closing at 9 o'clock tonight. Also, please pay attention to those sponsor logos. Get out there and support those who support us. Now, without further ado, please welcome the Executive Director of 55 North, Shelley Gehring, and the President of the Board of Directors, Dan Hendricks.
Thanks, Curtis, and thanks to everyone who is with us tonight as we celebrate our new name and our renewed commitment to serving adults north of 55. Hyde Park Center for Older Adults was established over 46 years ago by a collaboration of neighborhood churches and organizations to serve the unique needs of older adults. At the end of 2019, the demand for services was increasing as the population of older adults in Cincinnati continued to grow. This prompted our board and staff to begin the process of building a new strategic plan. While we remain committed to our 4 pillars of service, transportation, nutrition, social work support services, and health and wellness programming, we realized we needed new and innovative programming as well as mutually beneficial partnerships with other community organizations for our organization to remain vital and effective.
To reflect our vision for growth, we made the decision to change our name to 55 North. The name 55 North makes clear that we offer services to adults north of 55. It also more accurately reflects the geographic population we currently serve, which includes not just Hyde Park, but 6 other East Side neighborhoods as well, including Oakley, Madisonville, South Norwood, East End, O'Brienville, and Mount Lookout. We've updated our mission statement, which now reads as follows. The mission of 55 North is to empower adults 55 and older to be independent, active, healthy, engaged, and connected. Our vision is that all adults are supported, connected, and respected in their community. We believe that this new mission statement, combined with our vision for a bright future, has positioned 55 North as a leader in providing outstanding services to those we serve.
In September, with a new name hot off the press, the constraints of the pandemic still upon us, and a building lease that was soon to expire, we decided it was time to make another bold move. And this time, that move was literal. We moved from our longtime home at 2800 Erie, where we had lived since 1980, and moved to a small suite of administrative offices just down the road. In fact, we still have an Erie Avenue address. Rest assured, we are still providing our core services of transportation, meals, social work support services, and health, wellness, and social programming. Although for now, due to the pandemic, all of our programs are provided virtually, much like our virtual soiree this evening.
Well, when the time comes and it is again safe to gather, we look forward to reintroducing congregate meals and social events. And though we no longer have a large meeting space of our own, there are plenty of venues in our 7 neighborhoods where we can bring our participants together for lectures, classes, wine tastings, and more. In fact, engaging more directly in our diverse communities is one of 55 North's key priorities. And now, please raise a glass in a toast to 55 North. Welcome to 55 North.
Cheers.
Thanks, Shelley, and thanks, Dan. Now I would like to introduce the co-chairs of tonight's event, Crystal Faulkner and Tom Cooney. Crystal is partner and market leader of MCM CPAs and Advisors. Tom is senior financial advisor at Wealth Dimensions and is also the treasurer of the board of directors for 55 North.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. To tell a little bit of a funny story and a classic case of what goes around comes around, when I was first asked to serve as the treasurer of 55 North, Crystal volunteered me to say yes, which of course I was happy to do. But that also gave her no choice when I asked her about co-chairing tonight's event.
You're right, Tom. And to set the record straight, you really didn't have to do too much arm twisting to encourage me to actually be the co-chair with you. And trust me, I know that we're both very proud to be part of this great and growing organization that's touched so many people's lives and meant so much to so many over the years.
Well, one thing I can say for sure as 55 North's treasurer is that times have really changed in the 46 years since Hyde Park Center was founded. Organizations like ours can no longer rely solely on funding from those important agencies like United Way and Council on Aging. Fundraisers like this one tonight are critical to support the essential services we provide.
Tom's right. He and I both know, as do all of you, that fundraisers like this one are key to helping organizations we care about. So please, please be sure to bid on our silent auction items. And for me, I've already got a few picked out. I'm really watching that Richard Duvall painting as well as the Florida vacations that look very appealing to me right now.
And if you're not much of a shopper, and I can relate to that, Crystal, you can still help us out with a donation. Just click the donate button to the right of your screen.
One privilege that I have as being co-chair of tonight's event is I get to introduce a friend of mine, someone who I truly admire in this city, our keynote speaker tonight, Dr. Odell Marino Owens. Now let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Owens. He's currently the CEO of Interact for Health and Interact for Change. Dr. Owens, who's a native here in Cincinnati, he holds a MD and a master's in public health from Yale University Medical School. He established an in vitro fertilization program right here at the University of Cincinnati, and in recent years, he's been the Hamilton County Coroner, president of Cincinnati State Technical and Community College, and medical director and interim health commissioner of the Cincinnati Health Department. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Odell Owens.
I have always admired how much you do in this community, and I am so proud to call you my friend. Thank you. Sometimes I want to ask God why poor people are treated so poorly. And what is God going to do about it? I sometimes want to ask God why children in our community are treated so poorly, abused, battered. And what is God going to do about it? I sometimes want to ask God why we still do not treat each other well, that we don't treat each other as brothers and sisters of this earth. And what is God going to do about it? I sometimes want to ask God these questions. On so many occasions, I want to ask God these questions and ask God, what is God going to do about it? But I dare not. For fear God would ask me those same questions. And what am I going to do? Today, I ask you, what are you going to do? It is so important for each of us to be able to give back to a community, whatever that community may be. But what is giving back? What is the difference between giving and donating? Or is there a difference? For me, I think there is a difference, and I was taught the difference between giving and donating by a homeless man. 18 years ago, I started to ring the bells for the Salvation Army 3 days before Christmas on Fountain Square. And I did this because the Salvation Army had just been kicked out of the Target stores, and this was going to cost them about $80,000. So I wanted to ring the bell on Fountain Square, bring some friends, and try to highlight their plight so that people would give. I did that for 17 years, along with Montgomery Inn, who provided the food, and I rung the bell on Fountain Square. One year I looked across from our bell, and I could see Tiffany's, and there was a homeless man standing there and sometimes sitting in the cold, because this is in December, with this little sign asking for donations. That same type of sign that you saw back in the Depressions when he would say, "Hey, brother, can you spare a dime?" "Hey, brother, can you spare a dime?" is a homeless man's way of trying to connect with your humanity. "Hey, brother, didn't ask for a dime. Wanted to know if you could spare him a dime." But as he stood there and sat there, people would walk past him, oftentimes making him invisible. They wouldn't acknowledge his plea for help or acknowledge his sign, or they would simply say, "You're scum, you're dirt, you're an addict, you're an alcohol person, get a job." As I said earlier, Dean Gregory would be there with me, serving food, mainly to the homeless, on Fountain Square. In 2 hours, we would serve as many as 222 dinners of pulled pork, Saratoga chips, coleslaw, and a cookie. But I noticed that he didn't come across the street. So I took a plate and walked across the street and gave it to him. Just as 2 o'clock was arising, because we would ring the bells from 12 to 2, I noticed that he came towards me. And he came to my kettle. And he took his cup of the pennies and nickels and dimes and quarters that people gave him, along with, "Hey, bum, get a job, you're an addict, you're an alcoholic." He poured all of that morning's work into the kettle. Every single penny, nickel, and dime. I teared up then, I tear up today thinking about this. And as he poured that in, he then looked at me and he smiled. And it seemed to me that when he smiled, he stood tall. He really stood tall, because I think at that very moment, he felt like a man, that he felt like a real human being, because he gave. You see, some people give from surplus. If I have more, I'll give. And others give from what they have. That man gave everything, all the insults that it took to get that can of change. And he poured it into my red kettle. And as he walked down the street, he turned and he looked back. Not the look of regret, but the look of satisfaction. That a sense that he was a real man, that he had touched humanity, that he could give, that he had value. I will never forget that. The homeless man taught me that lesson. But not all of life is about money. Money is important, but sometimes it's our presence. I learned very quickly that I could have easily stay at home, sit in my office, and give money to feed the poor. I could easily give money to house the poor. I could easily give money to clothe the poor, but that's not enough. As human beings, we must give of ourselves and from our heart, that we need to house poor people in an environment they can feel respect. Clothe them with empathy and compassion, and feed them hope to replace despair. We all can do that, and there's no money involved. I like that 55 North is trying to give the elderly a better position in our society, where they're respected, where they can be connected, where they can still feel, even though they're elderly, they have worth. Yes, they'll take some money, but it also would take something from the heart. COVID-19 has taught us many lessons. Actually, it's revealed some of our deficits. Any pandemic will tell you how well you treat your poor or how poorly you treat your poor. It will tell you how you treat your people of color in terms of health disparities. And it will teach you just how wide your digital divide is. But it would also teach you just how important the human touch is, how to connect with your humanity. If you're not sure what I mean, just ask the people in nursing homes. We've all have seen the pictures on the news of people in nursing homes at the glass with their hands up, trying to touch the son or the daughter who's outside, but they can't. We've all seen the stories of the hospitals with all this overflow, and people come to the hospital, unfortunately, not to get well, but to die from COVID. And when they come to the hospital, their families can't see them, and they must suffer and wondering if they will ever see their family members, will ever have that touch, will ever have that voice saying, Daddy, I love you. Mommy, I love you. Brother and sister, I love you. Or forgive me. I will, if you get better, I will give you more time. I will love you more. The opportunity is not there. Each of us must assess our life and assess how we relate to each other and to our community. We can't wait for a disaster to come before we realize that we're not in touch with our own humanity. Yes, we can give from our pocket, but it's more important for us to give from our heart, to truly love and embrace humanity. Show respect for all people as North 55 wants to do for the community. But let's not wait until you're 55. Let's show that respect and love for when people are young and when people of color don't have to fight for social justice, don't have to fight to deal with the health disparities, because everybody wants everyone to do well. I want to end by just telling you one thing, that the greatest gift that you can give obviously comes from the heart, but the greatest gift that you can give is the gift that you give when you're unasked. When you see there's a need in the community, when you see that people need for you to be their voice, when you see that people need for you to be their hand, when people see that they have a need for you to be the advocate, that you step up. No one needs to ask that you step up and say, I will help humanity. Maybe one day, none of us will have to ask God those questions, because we have answered them for ourselves. Again, thank you, Crystal. Thank you, 55 North, for giving me an opportunity just to share a few moments from my own heart.
Cheers.
Thank you to my friend, Dr. Odell Owens, for joining us tonight. It's hard to imagine a life more varied and full of adventure. I know we all appreciate your words of wisdom. Now I'd like to introduce a short piece that was put together a few weeks back by WLWT News 5's Emmy Award-winning reporter, Brian Hamrick. I think you'll find that it offers a bit of additional insight into what's been happening at 55 North.
Well, COVID is really changing the way senior centers operate. Seniors can't come to the center to get their meals anymore, so, well, they're delivering the meals. And that's not the only thing they're delivering. Some of the latest innovations in the battle against the fallout from COVID are coming from a place you might not expect.
We'll be doing more things virtually.
Senior centers.
It's just a year of change, dramatic transformation.
Shelley Gehring is director of 55 North, meaning those over 55 years old.
I'm just calling you to remind you that I'm going to be there in about 10-15 minutes, okay?
Their food service is symbolic of the changes they've made. Instead of people gathering at the senior center for a meal, the meals are delivered to the people they serve.
So rather than delivering those services between four walls in a building, we're taking them out into the community.
Stay safe.
And it's not just meals. They're also delivering technology, even giving away these tablets and tech support. They've expanded their online programs like exercise, social gatherings, church services, and even telemedicine. And their surveys show older adults want to learn.
They helped me get onto Zoom because I had no idea of how to do it. But I got on Zoom. It was no problem.
Day Lemming is 91 years old. She's not your grandma's senior citizen. She's having no problems with new technology, even using it to do genealogy.
With the coronavirus, there is no other way. This is what we have to do, and we have to get used to it.
They've just moved into a new facility. 55 North was called the Hyde Park Center for Older Adults, the new name reflecting a new way of operating and a new age of aging. Well, 55 North had a lot of these changes already in the works, but they had planned to phase them in more gradually. Well, COVID changed all that. Brian Hemrick, WLWT, News 5.
So, Day Lemming, the lady who was featured in this video, is she awesome or what? And what she said is absolutely true. I don't know about you, but I never could have imagined how reliant we all would have become on technology. I mean, honestly, had you ever even heard of Zoom or Teams before March? And if you had, how often were you using those? How about Skype? Seriously, we all know that since the pandemic, these tools are absolutely essential. It's how we work, how we stay connected with friends and family, how we shop for groceries. I figured that out really well, Tom. Some of us see our doctors this way, and it's even how we go to church in many cases. Can you imagine how isolated and lonely you would feel if you couldn't keep in touch or with your friends and family by text or email? If you couldn't actually see them, see your friends, see your families on a screen?
Well, and Crystal, imagine if you couldn't afford a smart device, or that the cost of internet service, monthly internet service, was out of reach for you, or that even if you did have access to these things, financial access, you don't have any idea how to use them.
That's where 55 North comes in, and frankly, that's what really touched my heart about this program. With our new Digital Connect program that Day Lemming mentioned, 55 North is providing tech support and guidance to anyone 55 or older who requests it, regardless of income. Low-income seniors who qualify will also receive an Amazon Fire tablet with all of the helpful apps and preloaded and internet service at no cost.
Well, and in today's world, we know that having access to technology and knowing how to use it is no longer a luxury, but indeed is a true necessity. I hope you'll join Crystal and me in donating to 55 North in support of Digital Connect and all the other essential support services 55 North provides to those adults who are north of 55.
And Tom and I are so appreciative that all of you have chosen to be here with us tonight and are so grateful for the role you're playing to make this fundraiser a success. Thank you all so much.
And now, let me send out once again a big thank you to all of tonight's sponsors. We literally would not be able to have this celebration without your generous support. Now, I'd like to welcome back Dan Hendricks and Shelley Gehring for a few closing remarks.
We hope you've enjoyed our time together as much as we did tonight, and in the process have learned a bit more about the mission and vision of 55 North.
The world is changing faster than ever before. We at 55 North are committed to serving adults 55 and older in both traditional ways by providing transportation, nutrition, social work support services, and health and wellness programs. And we are delivering these services in new and more impactful ways, along with the technology and tech support required to enjoy them. As we look forward to the future, we'll be looking for even more opportunities to launch our new service concepts and engage more deeply with the community. And as we expand our services and partner with other community organizations, we'll have the opportunity to serve more older adults in more neighborhoods.
Tonight, all of us at 55 North make this commitment to you. Now and into the future, we will continue to find innovative ways to live up to our mission to empower adults 55 and older to be independent, active, healthy, engaged, and connected, and to strengthen our vision that all adults are supported, connected, and respected in their community.
Right now, I want everyone to take a moment and raise your glasses in a toast to 55 North. Here's to your amazing new direction and the bright future ahead. Cheers. Cheers. Finally tonight, before we turn our event back to Cat Balloon for some great music, don't forget that the silent auction is open until 9 o'clock. Many thanks to all of our sponsors and contributors, and to our special guests, including keynote speaker Dr. Odell Owens. And especially thanks to all of you for joining us this evening. Have a good night and a better day tomorrow.
Down short as the way we asked them to marry to the offensive. They all asked me. They all asked me. Everybody there wanna know well. They all asked me. They all asked me. They all asked me. Everybody there wanna know well. They all asked me.
Yeah. Get on down to Alabama Zoo. All that for you. I'm gonna do a Buddy Guy song right now. It's called Keep It To Myself. It's about people who, you can't tell secrets to because they just, tell everybody else. Ain't that right? I'm having a senior moment, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to change this up. I'm going to do a song. Little Walter's called Can't Keep On Much Longer. I can't sleep at night. I can't have a good day. I can't hold on much longer. Feeling this way. But I'm crazy about you, baby. And I wanna do everything I do. Said I'm a wild, about you, baby. But you don't care. Oh, Lord. Nothing in the river. Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, hey, won't baby. Make sure you ring. You're lying, you're cheating, and you're evil ways, baby. What the hell did you think? But I'm crazy about you, baby. I wanna do everything I do. Said I'm a wild about you, baby, but you don't care. Oh, Lord. Nothing in the river. Yeah. Hey, come on, Bob. Give it up now. Thank you. in the morning. Hey, hey. Said I'm wild about you, baby. You don't care. I said you don't care. I don't know what you're thinking about, but I know you don't care. Yeah. And I know you don't care. I know you don't care about me. Like to do a song? Yeah. No, there's no house music. I'd like to do a song now from Sippy Wallace. It's called Women Be Wise. Women Be Wild. Yeah, well, that goes without saying. Don't talk about me. Women be wise, keep your mouth shut, don't advertise your man. Don't sit around holding conversation, telling me all those good things, Joe. They could do for you if you talk about your baby and you tell me he's so fine. Oh Lord, I might just try to sneak up, try to make her mine. Women be wise, keep your mouth shut, don't advertise your man. Tell you one more time, don't advertise your man. Now your best girlfriend, she might be a highbrow, but I see her changing underwear every at least 3 hours a day. What do you do when you're going out and you're going away? But when you're man in your own damn bed, girl, you better call on the doctor and investigate your head. Women be wise, keep your mouth shut, don't yakety, 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 yakety. Telling me all those good things the man could do for you. If you talk about your baby and you tell me he's so fine, I might just try to sneak up, try to make him mine. Remember wise, he brought my soul. Go hypnotize your man until you're on my mind. Go hypnotize your man, I tell you now. But I'm not from Pugs right now. Give it up there.
Just because you're pretty, and you think you're mighty wise, tell me that you know me. Shot eyes at me. I can tell the deep pain out on the street. Explain that you're lying when you said deep and cried. You don't roll those bloodshot eyes at me. Well, I need to spend my money to make you look real sweet. We walk down the street, and don't ask me to dress you up, satin sanding sales. Cause your eyes look like cheap cherries in a glass of buttermilk. Don't roll those bloodshot eyes at me. I can tell that you've been out on the street. You're lying when you think you've been crying. You don't roll those bloodshot eyes at me. Our little romance is finally simmered down. You should join the circus. You make a real good clown. bloodshot eyes and we. I can tell that you've been out on the spree. But say that you're lying when you say that you've been driving. Lord, those bloodshot eyes and me.
So, wir haben Zeit für noch eine. Wir machen eine Pause. Wir arbeiten für Spenden. Und ich gehe mal rum mit dem Hut bei der Pause. Und wie unser Herr hat gesagt, es ist besser zu geben als zu nehmen. Richtig, my brothers and sisters. Y'all ready? I used to smoke, I used to drink, I used to smoke, drink. Yeah, would you care? I used to smoke and drink. Smoke and drink, and give a hoot to the crew. Hey, now I'm standing on the corner, waiting for me and you. Oh, yeah, that's what I say, hey, what I say, hey. Let me tell you about the Christmas day, yes, I say, hey, I say, hey. Reading all the trees in the ground, I said it all. Session heute Abend. Wir haben Chris, Hattie, Leo, vielleicht Benedict. Wir spielen noch mal. Weiß es nicht. Wir mal sehen, wa? We're going to take a little break right now. We're going to do a little session. If you feel like singing, playing, whatever you got, we'll do it. We're going to hang it, whatever. We got it, baby. I'm going to go around with the hat. Because we're working for donations. Like our good Lord said up above. It's better to give than it is to receive. So I want you to dig deep, deep into your pockets, brothers and sisters. Because I'm coming around. I'm coming around. I'm going to say goodbye to my folks down there and sit over there in Cincinnati. And we'll see y'all later.